Kevin Costner.
Anthony Mackie.
I'm awake now.
You awake now?
Okay, take me away. I'm done.
You good?
Thank you.
Done.
How you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
Hey, y'all.
Got the mayor security detail team?
I'm good, thank you. It's the noisiest office I ever been in.
Right.
I love it. I
Love
like
Are
it.
you up?
I'm up now, like I said. Boom.
Kevin Costner is really in here.
Anthony Mackie's
Hold
really
on.
in here.
In the building.
Anthony Mackie's really in here.
Yeah.
In front you, 2 feet
Hi.
away.
Let me call you. Hey, boo. Let me bring it home for a minute.
Do it.
The screening last night for Black and White,
Nice.
when I walked in, because I sat near a whole lot of people that were a little older, and I was like, wow, it's a lot of grandmamas in here.
Yeah, I know you got to pass the grandma test.
And that's what it was, I guess because of the trailer and the way that the movie plays out.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you, man, you were incredible.
Thank you.
And so were you.
As always.
I mean,
so
I didn't know
much.
if I liked you or hated you. Because I've been a fan since 8 Mile, and and I was like, do I like this dude?
You'd want him on your side, though.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Exactly. You're not supposed to like your lawyer as long as he
They
wins.
say that's when you know you are a good actor, when you either make your audience love you, or hate you.
Exactly.
Yes.
And of course, when we couldn't tell people that you were actually coming.
I know.
Because we have a rule on the show is like, we don't want to have to apologize to our audience. And we're like,
Yeah, I get it.
Kevin, he something happened.
Yeah, no one wants that.
And he was across the street, but he's still coming.
He was
Yeah, right.
Costner is here.
got stuck in Starbucks.
Right.
Oh my God.
I understand the level of disappointment that comes. And sometimes showing up, you go, that was a little bit of a letdown, too.
Right. I mean, and when you guys came out and Monica Kaufman introduced you, you said something that I wanted, to tell our audience today, because there's hundreds and thousands, almost 1 million people listening about how we shouldn't pass our baggage on to our kids.
Right.
And I thought it was very important.
Right.
So I want you to tell people that right now about this movie.
The reason I signed on to this movie is because of the script. I was really blown away by what the script existed to say and what Mike Binder, our writer, was doing with this movie. And, as a father, I realized early on that our children can grow up to be amazing people. And we are at an age now where we're already tainted. We've already been given the sexism, homophobia, and racism that our forefathers and fathers before them had. Now, it's our job not to pass that on to our children, so they can grow up to be the beautiful people they're supposed to be. We don't want to continue that baggage. You need to let them grow up and be their own people and see the world the way they want to see it and supposed to see it, as opposed to the way we see it.
Right.
Wow.
And when you watch this movie, it's not about race.
Right.
You have two families, one black family, one white family, coming together for the best interest of this child. And that's what's most important. They're not fighting because they're black and white. They're fighting because they want to see this child grow up with the most opportunities possible.
And I thought, and we have Anthony Mackie and Kevin Costner in the studio. I thought, one of the scenes that came up over and over again was the fact that the grandmother always would go there, and then your character would say, oh, here we go. And that happens a lot in real life, when the first thing that somebody says about any type of black and white relationship is, oh, you don't like white people.
Exactly.
You don't
That
like
was
white
that was a very telling line. It's interesting you picked that out, because there's other lines that jump bigger, but there's just kind of a little under your breath, okay, here we go.
Right. And
Here
it was
we go.
very, very consistent with the fact that as we go through all the things that we're going through as a nation, people are saying, are race relations better or worse?
Right.
Why did you think this movie was something that you had to make, and not only had to make, but also had to put, some money behind to get it done?
Well, the idea of making it was, sometimes you get to get the girl. I mean, I made Bodyguard. I was going to get to kiss Whitney. Okay, so sue me for the reason. And sometimes you get to save the world. Look at the Falcon, right? And then sometimes you get to say something not only for your generation, but for the time you're living in. And there are speeches in black or white that people are never going to ever forget. Because of how it comes out. We don't pull punches, and we don't play politically correct. And I'd like to say on that politically, when somebody goes, well, I'm not politically correct, that to me, that's always a little warning sign, because sometimes somebody thinks that gives them the ability to be cruel. Right. I don't like that. The idea of being up front, that's good. I can do that. But that thing of being cute and cruel. It's got no business in conversation. And I thought this movie was so even-handed that it was like a miracle talking about where we're at in race today. And I think, you know, so many movies are looking back. Selma's looking back. Butler's looking. Nothing wrong with that. 12 Years a Slave. But this is kind of right where we're at right now. Yeah. And I thought, I fell in love with this thing. And when it just didn't turn out that other people felt the same, it was, I couldn't fall out of love with it. And so, you know, I went out and I found the very best actors that you could possibly imagine. And Anthony, of course, could be doing a lot of stuff. But when he read what he was going to do, no one, if you got to know him a little bit now, no one was going to take it away from him. And Octavia, no one was going to take that opportunity for that third slap except her.
Oh, my goodness.
There's some scenes in there
Amazing.
that, you know, that you relive your own childhood. And me as a kid who grew up with a father who struggled with substance abuse his entire adult life. The scene with Reggie and how when he got mad he would just leave. Right. That was my life because whenever my dad would get mad and we didn't give him what he wanted, he would just walk out and blame us. And I was like, I mean, the way it was written.
Very well written.
I mean, it was amazing. And as I see more and more movies now, I'm looking at how it's shot and this is beautiful and that's great. But I mean, the way it was written, though.
Movies are always going to succeed on the word. I mean, actors, you know, that speech is going to live forever, and there's going to be a lot of people affected by that because, you know, when we go to movies early, we see who the hero is, we see who the rat is. And we kind of see it really clearly. There's a lot of people that find themselves in this movie that have kind of racist tendencies, but they don't know it. And when they look up at that movie, they're going to see the veil of it, and they're going to go, hopefully, I want to be that guy. Right? I want to be this. I need to be more even. I need to give people a chance.
Oh, wow. If I can go back to 1992, The Bodyguard.
Yeah.
I just remember hearing people talk about the relationship between you and Whitney and what it felt like for us. It wasn't about race. It was like they're perfect for one another. Yeah. What was the feeling like, I guess, in making this film and going home at night, resting and thinking about the next day of working with Whitney Houston?
Well, well, you know, it was a pretty easy choice for me. It's only after this movie where people talk at that it was a courageous move. For me, in doing it, I didn't think at all about it. I thought, you know, I got to get the prettiest girl who can sing, and I think, well, duh, you know,
I know,
and be with her all the time.
Oh my God.
You know, it was special between us, and that was our make-believe relationship. And of course, when we lost her, you know, there was this drumbeat for me to speak, and I was always a little bit confused by that. I was thinking, you know, we were a moment in time, but you also can't change the world, and the world sees us together.
Right.
And so I did go.
Every girl wanted to be Whitney Houston and a tenderoni.
Yes,
every girl.
Everybody.
And just so you know, every black woman was like, I'm dating Kevin Costner.
Right.
My guy.
7:26 right now. It's Frank in the Morning Show with Wanda Smith and Marvin Dixon hanging out with us. Kevin Costner, Anthony Mackie. You know, you don't have to do this like this. And like we've seen it happen with a lot of stars who are coming out and, you know, they'll show up in the theater. I've seen it happen 3 or 4 times, but not to come
to the radio.
Like, you'll do maybe the TV talk show circuit if you wanted to, but to do this and come and do radio.
This is huge for us.
Why did you say, okay, you know what, I'm going to really show them how much I'm...
Listen, when you're a kid and you draw a little drawing, crayon, whatever, your mom puts it on the refrigerator. Doesn't matter how good it is, doesn't matter what.
Right.
They put it on the refrigerator. Well, as adults, that ain't going to happen. And when you make something and you're proud of it, you're going to have to take it around yourself. And in this movie, like you said, nobody stepped forward except the actors who gave me a chance to make this. And so it's important to me, you know, if I want something to be treated importantly, I have to treat it important. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And, you know, Anthony, you were in the news last week, I guess, when the Oscar nominations came out. And, you know, I've learned now to, excuse me, as I'm kicking Kevin Costner. You ready for him to go?
Kick me twice.
I don't mean for him to go.
Don't kick him.
After I read it, you know, last week, I said, okay, after doing this for 20 plus years, I always, if I get the person in front of me, I asked him, was that statement true, or was it taken out of context about how you felt?
You're a very smart man. Thank you. The statement about what?
About Selma.
I say a lot. No, it was completely taken out of context, and that's what's so sad about it. Selma was a very good movie, and I have a lot of friends who were in Selma, and they gave great performances. That was a movie based on the performances of that ensemble, and Ava directed a really good movie. Now, the idea is, they're talking about Selma being snubbed, and I don't want Selma to get nominated because it's a black movie. I don't want Ava to get nominated because she's a black woman. She don't deserve that belittling.
Gotcha.
She did something that'll live in infamy and forever because her talent would always be shown through that movie. Saying this, having worked with a woman who won Best Director and won Best Feature with Hurt Locker, I think what she did transcends her race and her sexuality, because she was able to take that story of a man in civil rights and tell a beautiful story full of characters. Now, what I said was, you have to look at Hollywood as it is, a business. Films are now being financed by foreign investors, and foreign investors see that their bread and butter comes with white actors. So the majority of the movies that that are made for big budgets and are made with white actors because they feel they can sell overseas.
Right.
That's why when Oscar time come up, we have our one black hope. It was 12 Years a Slave.
Right.
It's Selma.
That's
Next
right.
year, it'll be one movie.
Right.
So until we get to the point where we pull together like we did with this movie and tell our own stories.
Right.
When Kevin called me and told me to do this movie, I believed in the script so much, and I believed in what Mike Binder wrote so much. I didn't care about how much they were paying me.
Right.
Some of the best movies I've done, Half Nelson, Hurt Locker, they paid me absolutely nothing. But I did the movie because I know what it would turn into and what it would say to the people who were watching. Wow. And it's really sad to belittle the performances that you got in Selma and the overall story and how it's having an impact on a brand new generation, introducing them to Martin Luther King and what happened in Selma. And belittle it by saying, "Oh, well, they're not giving black people.
Right.
We need to." That's belittlement. That's dismissive.
There they go.
Wow.
Yeah.
There they go. Like we were talking
right.
earlier. There they go.
That's
One,
dismissive.
If it ain't Django.
Yeah, exactly. That's dismissive, and we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't do that to David, who gave a great performance. We shouldn't do that to Coleman, Niecy, or Omar Darcy. All of them gave great performance. Everybody, even Oprah gave a great performance in that movie.
That's right.
And when I said, if you look at the Best Actor category, there are 5 slots. If I haven't been nominated, they were like the lack of diversity. I said I wasn't nominated this year because I didn't do a movie I felt was worthy of a nomination. If I want to get nominated, I have to pick scripts better and act better. That has nothing to do with David Oyelowo. He gave a great performance.
That's right, he did.
He gave a great performance.
He sure did.
If I want to be in that conversation, I have to work harder.
Okay.
I have to do better.
Wow.
Awesome.
So people took that and just...
What they told
Yeah, took a little
opposite
piece of what?
direction.
And that's sad because it's taken away from a great movie.
glad
Now
you cleared that up.
You gotta, they got a hard schedule to get you guys, and then we appreciate.
We're all
you
right.
coming on.
Maybe we'll just hang out here.
Wait a minute. See, I like that. You've seen that happen before.
I kind of like my chair. I kind of like what Anthony's saying.
I gotta tell you,
People treating us good.
we had the Rock
Breakfast
on.
is coming.
The syrup's hot.
And he was talking about a movie, and he was having such a good time, and the people who were with him started wrapping us up, and then
Yeah.
they started banging on the window. And I have never seen, remember this? And I had never seen an actor do this. He said, hold on a second. And he went out there and he fired the person on the spot.
Yes, The
He
Rock
said,
did.
I am the talent. I'm enjoying myself. You work for me. And we was like, okay. And it was just like, he was having a good time.
Yeah.
But making this movie, and we're talking to Kevin Costner and Anthony Mackie, will you be looking at Box Office Mojo at 10 a.m. Friday morning and seeing how it's doing? Or do you not care about how it...
My wife cares. She really does. Because I had to walk down the hall when this wasn't getting made, and I looked at my wife and I said, "This is boiling down to us, sweetheart." And and she said, "Look, if you believe in it that much," and so I would like to see that. I would like to not feel like this movie hurt my family or any level of security that I enjoy. How big do I want my pile to be? That's not the concern. But would I like to get this back? So, not very often, you can say it as a cliche that I think everybody should see this movie, because certainly there's movies that there's certain audiences for those movies, and so it sounds like a grand statement, but I think Black or White, I do think is of our time. I do think Anthony said it last night. If you know somebody that doesn't look like you, tell them go see that movie.
Right.
And I think that's I think this is one that our children can see. This is one that we made it for people, and it's not our movie anymore.
I can't believe you didn't have a song on the soundtrack from your band.
Yeah, Misty Blue. That's a pretty good
Oh,
song.
Misty Blue.
Yeah.
Going way back.
The song they sang in the church. I mean,
That was my daughter.
That was.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah, that little white girl.
The song, I mean, because I'm sitting there when it first comes on, and I'm sitting next to a bunch of people, and they're already crying. I'm like, okay, am I ready for this? And then I wanted to know the explanation because of how you got there, because of the way it starts with you in the hospital.
Yeah.
And I was like, please clear that up. And it happened pretty quickly. So I was like, okay, now I see why this is the whole world is in a turmoil. So, I mean, the story, it plays out.
It's a great American screenplay. I'm telling you what, this guy, and this was his life too. This is based on true events.
Nice.
This is a great screenplay, and he tells a story, and I do think this movie has a chance to be a classic. And if it is, you won't have to worry about my money coming back.
Anthony, you from New Orleans?
504, slow your roll. Recognize the
When the
real.
last time you been home, baby?
3 days ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
that's what I do. You
You
know.
know Lil Wayne and Toya?
Nah.
He more old school. He know Master P.
Yeah.
So,
know,
7:34 right now. We got to wrap, guys. But we
they have to go?
Now, they want to stay, but they got other people and other commitment.
Kevin Costner, you're here.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Thank you. We really appreciate it. It was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Anthony, I actually saw you, and I say whenever I want to go really low key, on a plane once. And you were sitting in the back. You had the headphones over the top. You had the backpack.
He was hiding?
No, he wasn't hiding, but he was just moving. And we actually got on the same tram in the Atlanta airport. And I was like, I know who that is, but I don't want to bother him. And I just reached over and did like this.
He bumped you back?
And he pounded me back. And
All
that was
right,
cool.
all right.
And you know what?
Well, you can keep your black card.
I remember that.
You
because
do?
This is what I love about that. I was like, you know what? If you acknowledge me, hey, my man. Boom.
You did it back?
You ain't gotta blow it up. You ain't gotta and so many people they don't allow you to have your personal space and your personal time.
No.
Like this is you. This is like if you were at the grocery store and I come over to you and be like, hey man, tell a joke.
Right.
Hey man, what's going on? What's going on in the world? I'm not at work, bruh. Yes, you is. No, it's not fair.
Yeah.
So I
remember
100%,
that.
I 100% remember.
Wow.
That's 100%.
special.
Hell yeah.
And you curse. Yeah. You get to keep your black
Make sure you go
card.
see.
You said New Orleans. That's all you had to say.
I know, right? Thank
Our
y'all
pleasure, guys.
so
We
much.
really appreciate it. We know, and we will support
Yes.
it. And it was an awesome screening last night, and the crowd loved it.
So we need
And
to sell
America
this
will love it
movie
too.
out, right?
Yeah, it's going to be big in Atlanta. You know that. All right.
Kevin Costner, tell Atlanta something.
Going big in Atlanta. Atlanta, I'm coming back.
He's coming back.
Come on, Mackie, tell Atlanta something.
I love you, Atlanta.
Yay.
Way to go, Hawks. Go get them, baby. Go get them, baby.
That's what I'm talking about.
Shut up.
All right, we got to look at traffic.